are 5 things that your husband wants you to know, but has really not told you yet. Number one, the need to be understood and not criticized. See, most men were raised to solve problems and not share them. They are not talkers. They don't like talking too much. Women talk, men solve. So even though your husband is not sharing a lot of things, he still wants to know that you understand. Not because he's hiding information from you, but because he's working a way to solve the problem. So even though he has not shared some things and you are picking it, just understand. This man is not trying to hide something from me. He's just trying to solve. Now we move on to number two. This one is very important, the fear of failing. See, you will be shocked that a lot of men actually have the fear of failing. The fear of failing on their jobs, the fear of failing in their business, the fear of failing even in the marriage. So you might be looking at them that they might not be making the efforts, but guess what? They are actually scared of failing. So rather than you looking at them like they are the bad ones, they want you to look at them like, look, I'm actually scared of this marriage failing. So why don't you work with me and let's see how we can make it work, even if I'm not saying so much. Now we move on to number three. You see this number three? This number three is very, very important. And what is that? The need for peace in the home. You see, most husbands run when their wives say, I want to talk about an issue. I want to this, I want to that. Because for them, hey, battlefield. So they want peace in the home. Peace doesn't necessarily mean that they don't want to solve a problem or they don't want to work with you to resolve an issue. It just means that, look, we can separate our emotions from the situation. Let our emotions calm down. Let's create peace in the home. Then we can go ahead and solve the problem. So, dear wife, be a peacemaker. Create peace in your home. You get why? You get why? We move on to number four. You see, this number four is very important. And what is that? Be your husband's greatest cheerleader, your husband's greatest supporter. Blow your husband's trumpet. Yes, it's a woman's eye calling. Sometimes your husband needs that for morale boosting because, like I said earlier, they already battled the fear of failing. Now, match that with a wife who is constantly putting in front of her husband how the husband is inadequate, how the husband is imperfect, how the husband is flawed, how the husband cannot make anything happen. What do you think is going on in the head of that man? But imagine, yes, he's making mistakes, but you are cheering him on because you are not focusing on his limitations. You are not focusing on his mistakes. You are focusing on his strength. You are calling out the giant in him. You are calling out the man in him. And you are blowing his trumpet. And you are massaging his ego. You are talking to his core. Be your husband's greatest support system. You get why? The fifth one is very important. And dear wives, please, I want you to hear me. Your husband wants to feel like a husband. They don't want to feel like your third, your fourth, your fifth, or your first child. They want to feel honored. See, sometimes in correcting your husband, there's a way you can sound and make the guy feel like, oh, you're not trying, no. You can make your husband feel like that. And when you make your husband feel that way, what do you think was the response to be? He'll be defensive. And that's what happens sometimes. That makes problems that should have just stayed small become something big. There are ways to correct your husband. Look at the way Abigail appealed to David when David was angry towards her husband. See the way she massaged the ego of that guy. There's a way you can correct without insulting. You know what Abigail did? Abigail, first of all, began to help David to see that, look, it's not your kind of person that should be going after somebody. I want to go and, cause a mayhem and all of that. She massaged it. She, first of all, reminded him of his identity, who he is, what God has said. She spoke all those things and she made him see that, look, God will fight your battle for you. And that thing just calmed the guy down. He was about to make a very big mistake. But because of the wisdom by which Abigail managed the situation, look at the way David calmed down. That when her husband died, she became his second wife. Look, there's a way you can correct your husband and make him a better man. And there's a way you correct him that you make that man to be growing further and further away from you. I can tell you for a fact, this is something men want you, your husband wants you to know, but they don't know how to tell you. So you see these 5 things, there are more, but these 5 things, sit down with it and ask yourself, in what way have I been a support system to my husband? In what way have I created peace in the home? In what way have I been correcting my husband? Think about all this. If you have not been doing so well in any of this, make the adjustments and see how things will change in your marriage. Dear wife, I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you.